Good evening, Frank Polancic. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lilo. Thanks for asking.
It's good to see you again. I've done one of your seminars over in Chicago on how to find a soulmate, and it's good to have you answer some of those questions, burning questions that I have regarding soulmate. You wrote a book, Create Your Soulmate. Actually, Why Wait? It's called Why Wait? Create Your Soulmate. And you've been
Yep.
in numerous television shows, and it's like an honor to have you today. And tell us, how do you first define soulmate so we're on the same page?
Well, my definition of a soulmate is going to be different than other people's definitions. But the bottom line is it's someone that you marry your best friend, and you live out your higher path together. That's it in a bottom line.
And for you, we don't have one soulmate, we have many of them.
Well, there's a couple billion people on the planet. My intention is that people attract their soulmate and get married to them and stay married to them, for a lifetime.
But I think I heard you say on that day that we could potentially those people that we're
Yes,
meeting could become a soulmate. There's not just one on the planet.
absolutely. There's not just one in the planet. And actually, that's when we talk about law of attraction today, you'll see how that's so lack thinking that, it's an abundant, there are plenty of soulmates out there. We can have as many soulmates as you want. You get to choose which one is yours for a lifetime.
So you're saying law of attraction because you say we create our soulmate, right? How does the law of attraction kicks in here?
Well, the law of attraction obviously is working all the time, whether we're with our soulmate or not. But, in order to get what you really want in attracting a soulmate, you want to look at what you don't want, okay? Because most of the time when we attract a partner, we end up inevitably finding all the things that we didn't want about them about 6 months down the road or 3 months down the road. So I have people ferret out what's their don't wants and then get clear on what they do want to attract them. So that's how the law of attraction is working. We attract what we want and what we don't want. So your responsibility as a person who wants to attract their soulmate is to look at what you don't want, right, and get clear from the contrast of what you don't want to realize what you do want.
And we can then attract like a magnet our soulmate. We don't need to worry. We don't need to look for him or her. It actually comes to us.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, the worrying will keep them farther away from you. And actually looking or trying to attract someone will keep them farther away. You know what it's like when let's just use a bar example. When you're at a bar and you're trying to meet women or meet guys, you know that if they're like eager to meet you, it's totally repelling, right? Like if they're just like so want to be with a soulmate, it's not attractive.
No.
So the process that I created in Why Wait, Create Your Soulmate Now is basically you attract your soulmate through completing the past and then using the future to create the type of soulmate that you want using law of attraction. So complete the past and then attract through law of attraction.
So by
Does that make sense?
completing, yeah, and by completing the past, I remember something very powerful from that workshop was I actually got rid of my old pictures, old boyfriend pictures, and I went through my
Yep.
closet and found some love letters from 2000, and whatever, and it was very, very freeing to get rid of that. Can you tell me what's behind that process?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, law of attraction totally works, but people forget that, most people use law of attraction while they're out being, through during the day, right? But what they forget is when they come home, they are looking at things from their past, from past relationships. So what I have is a process using feng shui, which is the art of placement of objects in your home, is a clearing process. And I have you go through items and objects from past relationships, right? And you complete them. You either get rid of them or if you enjoy them, right, keep them. But if you don't enjoy them and it brings up negativity and you're disappointed that you're in this photo with this guy, or you got a half a dozen or 100,000 emails from a guy, delete them. Or if you've got a T-shirt from a college fling or a relationship and you keep looking at it, it's still in your space. So it's a constant reminder that this relationship was with you at one point and it's in the past. So how do you complete the past with objects? You get rid of them, or you give them away, or you sell them. You know, a lot of people that I coach in my telecoaching and my workshops, my live workshops, are, you know, I have people that have wedding dresses from the past or wedding rings from the past. And, you know, I've had one person actually during the 5-week telecourse that I have, got rid of her wedding dress and got proposed to during the course. So and what happens when you get rid of those objects, Lilo, is that it creates what's called synchronicity. When you get rid of a love letter from a past relationship, like a day or two later, and it's creepy how all this works. A day or two later, once you release that, you'll see a sign that the universe heard you. They may call you, you know, the past boyfriend. Somebody new will show up in your life. It works very quickly.
And it's really what's behind the feng shui is that you create space for the new to happen.
Yep, absolutely.
And so you would place also object in pairs and things like that you recommend in the bedroom?
Yeah, and there's a certain timeline to do that. First, I have them get rid of the objects first, right? Before they even put anything else in their space. Because you want to let the space breathe. You want to let your apartment, your condo, your 1 or 2 bedroom place breathe, like after you've cleared all this stuff out. So now a big space opens up. Then what I do is a couple weeks after they've allowed it to breathe and they're still like looking through their space to see if there's any other objects. And I guarantee, if I come into your space and you miss something, I'll find it. I know exactly where to look.
You have a past detector.
Yes. So then what I do is I have you line your space with things that represent already being in an ideal relationship, like having, you know, the bed of your dreams or something close to it, right? If you're sleeping in a single bed and you want to attract a soulmate, well, you're unlikely to do it in a single bed. So you want to get a double bed, a queen size bed, a king size bed, or, you know, get 2 nightstands with lights on, with lamps on them. That helps you set the relationship up so that it represents partnership in your space, even though they're not in your space yet.
Yeah.
And I take them through the process of eliminating and adding to their bedroom images of being in partnership. You know, great pictures of couples holding hands, walking on the beach. Whatever images represent couples to you, that's what I allow them to place into their space. And, you know, the nice thing about it is the process that I use is tailored toward you. It's not my thing, because my version of a soulmate is going to be completely different of yours. So you're the expert here. You get to put into the space what you want, what your ideal vision of a relationship is.
And you actually put this process together from your own experience because it worked. You did this, and then you met your wife, Thea.
Yes.
Can you tell us about what happened there?
Well, you know, it's funny. I had been looking for a soulmate for a while, and it wasn't until I actually committed to finding her that she showed up. You know, I got in a personal development course, and it was 6.5 months long, and you know, I had to get closure with my mother, who had passed away when I was 14. I had to get closure with my sisters, who I was, you know, kind of how can I put it, being a very young kid and being an 8-year-old in my adult relationship with my sisters.
Let's call it a jerk, isn't it?
Yes, I was being a jerk. Yes. And then I got closure with past relationships that I'd been in. And then once that happened, my wife showed up on the last day of the course. I literally, using the law of attraction, asked for my soulmate. I had a passionate conversation in Miami. I think it was 2000. I said, listen, universe, send me my soulmate. I'm a good person. I'm ready. And so a couple days later, my wife showed up. She was just starting the course that I was finishing, and I've been with her ever since. And, that's the thing is I think people have this image of, oh, it's going to be easy. Oh, it's going to take, like that you can actually attract a soulmate in your life when you're not complete with people or you don't have closure with your past relationships. And, the more closure that you have in your relationships, the better soulmate you attract and the less baggage that they'll have. And if they do have baggage, you'll know how to work through it, okay? Or the technology or the tools or the knowledge will come to you so that you can help them get through whatever they need to get through. But the bottom line in me meeting my soulmate was commitment. I was committed to to attracting her and keeping her.
And you were yet comfortable in your own skin, who you were. You felt complete and good, and so it starts with us. Is there some work on ourselves to do then before?
That's where it all starts. It's an inside job. It's not an outside job. And, I had been one of those people. I was 30 years old looking like, are you the one? Are you the one? Are you the one? And it was very uncomfortable for me to be that way. And then once I just asked the universe, once I got closure and then I asked the universe, it was like, I didn't care whether I attracted my soulmate or not. And that's where I want people to get to when they use my process. That's where a lot of people get to. It's like they're fine having a soulmate and fine not having a soulmate. Because in that space, you can have anything you want.
That's very inspiring. So surrendering, allowing, and letting it come, but not obsessing. Because a lot of us do obsess at some point. That question often comes back on... Especially when you get older, you get desperate.
Yep. A lot of people get desperate. And the reason why most people get desperate is because they're doing the same thing over and over and over, and it's not working. And what I suggest is doing using a plan. That's why I put my work together was, I could have very easily said, no, I'm not going to write a book. But I did it for you, the single person. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I got to write this. If I don't write this now, it'll never get written. I wrote the book in 90 days, and I had a workshop that I was using for singles to help them attract someone. And so, try a different plan. If your plan's not working, you better try something else because, and that will alleviate the desperation and the negative feelings that you have about attracting someone.
And it can be easy. Or easier than we would think. Natural process in the end.
Yeah, finding a soulmate is natural. Even the internet, people go, well, it's not natural. Hey, finding somebody on the internet's natural too. But here's the deal with internet dating. Even if you use internet dating or offline dating, you're still going to attract the same person because it's you. You're sending the messages out there. You're the one that's attracting.
Do you have a last message for us? Of course, I'll be putting your website and your book, but do you have a last message to the singles out there looking for their soulmates? Do you have something to tell us?
I do. And just the thing that I can say is that everything's going to be fine. And take your attention looking for your soulmate. Take your attention off that long enough to attract them. And, I strongly encourage you, obviously, to get my Why Wait, Create Your Soulmate Now book. I think, if you're really committed to it, the $20 that it costs to get, it's, can make a huge impact on your life. And if, the other thing I would strongly suggest, if you're someone who needs an audio program, get the audio program. And if you're somebody that needs the one-on-one coaching or the group coaching, just register for one of my coaching programs, You'll get me on there. I'm committed to you attracting your soulmate, probably more than you are, okay? And I can help you and empower you to attract your soulmate. And even if you don't attract your soulmate, you're going to be a much more profound person and much more at peace with yourself going through the process that I created. A lot of stuff happens. People not only attract their soulmate, but they attract more dates. They attract... they get complete with past relationships. They feel more love in their life. So I strongly encourage that you get the help that you need.
Mm.
It's okay to get help. You don't have to do it alone. And there's plenty of tools at thesoulmateguy.com to do that. And heck, if you want, call me at 312-286-4706, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll see if there's something that maybe you're not even ready. If you're not ready, hey, that's okay too.
Thank you for being available and making it possible for others wanting, to share that, because you went through that and you understand that definitely, and you're committed. I was in your workshop and you definitely shook things up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
And
you very much.
thank you, Lilo, for just inviting me to be on into this conversation, and your commitment to love and friendship and just in a global way is just profound. So I just want to thank you. And I got to tell you, when you were in my workshop, a year and a half ago, you stood out, and you stood out as an enlightened person, a conscious person, someone who was really up to something, and that that says a lot for the type of soulmate that you'll want to attract, is just someone that's up to big things like you are, and that can just empower you and allow you to reach your full potential. So, because believe me, all of us, we've not even tapped into our full potential. And when you find a soulmate that helps you do that, wow, it's amazing. So
That's
thank
when
you.
the real work starts, doesn't it?
That's when the real work starts. It's an ongoing process.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. My heart is fully open and touched by what you just said. Thank you.
You're welcome.